Hi everyone, this is Patty from Metaphysical Insight, and I just wanted to do a video on what to expect in a mediumship reading. Okay, mediumship reading is being able to be connected to a person who has passed over. Um, I just want to say that each medium, okay, all reads differently. We all get our information similarly and differently. Um, a client that comes to us that wants to connect with a passed over loved one, that person is called a sitter, but I'll probably just call them clients today, okay? Um, we all have our own method of the way we present the information that we receive from our passed over loved one or the person's passed over loved one. Um, Sometimes, some of us use guides that bring through the person passed over, and some of us just connect straight through to the passed over person, although there usually is a mediator somewhere, a guide somewhere along the line with them. Um, my method of reading is I have a few guides that I ask to bring through a particular person. So a, a lot of mediums, again, like I said, they have their own way of reading. Some will just go ahead and, not ask the client, the sitter, if there's anyone in particular that they want to connect with. They'll just grab who's ever coming through and then, get information from them and then relay that information to their client. Then there are some mediums, okay, the psychic mediums, who can actually connect to a particular person. I'm one of them, and there's some out there, and that means just where you have a client sitter who says, "Hey, I want to connect with my mother or my brother, either a sibling or a parent or a good friend or what have you." And usually for me, before my client calls, if it's a phone reading, okay, because in person's different. If it is a phone reading, I like to connect with my guides beforehand, and I like to, jot down, ask them if they could bring through that particular person that my client wants to speak to. So I ask my client, and I'm like, who do you want? Who do you want to speak to? Just the relationship. I don't want names or anything like that. The only time I'll take a name, and it would be a first name only, would be if, say, a person had a dad and a stepdad, or they had grandparents on both sides that passed away. So then, the particular one that they want to speak to, I would just need a first name. Otherwise, I just ask a relationship. So again, before my client calls, you go into a little meditation, and I have my guides hopefully bring through their loved one. So here's the thing. It's not easy for a passed over person to come through. We're all energy, so it takes a lot of their energy to come through here. And when they do come through, luckily, we get them to come through. We can't make them speak. We can't make them come through. We can't make them speak. And when we get them here, we can't make them state certain things. Sometimes a client would like to know something in particular, and for some reason, the passed over loved person's not answering it. They're just not going to answer it. And lots of times that's because the answer may be too painful or too emotional in some way for the client to hear. There's various reasons, but that's a big one. And there's different reasons that I know of that why a person won't say something. And then there's like, I don't know, they won't tell me, and I just don't know. But usually, it's something that they prefer not to say, or Okay, they've been instructed, by God or whatever, whomever you believe in, that they're not allowed to say certain things. Or not allowed to give them certain answers about, certain questions. And I'm the middleman. That's it. I'm just the middleman here. It's like a person in the box office, okay? Person walks up to the window, hey, I want tickets to see so and so. They give them their ticket, and then they go see, okay, the person that they paid the money for. So I'm just the middleman here. I'm just relaying the messages, that the wonderful, loved over person has, given to me to pass on, to the client. So, it's very interesting because I've been very fortunate to connect my clients with the actual, person that they want to speak with. But there are times, okay, where they do want to speak to a particular person, and that person, isn't coming through, or they'll come through in the background. They're not prominent. Um, Usually in that case, it's because there is someone else who's passed over that either has a major message for the client, or has been really wanting to, connect with them and let them know that they're okay, and that they miss them, and that they see everything that they're doing, and that they're with them as well. And the person that my client wants to, actually speak with, will be gracious enough to step back and allow that person to get their message through to my client. Okay, that happens. That can cause a bit of disappointment for the client, because the client's like, oh, I want to speak to my mother or whatever, and the grandmother comes through. I'm saying, not that they don't want to hear from them, but they really wanted to connect with their mom. And the grandmother comes through, or the grandfather, or someone else comes through. I get that. I get that can be disappointing, but if you look at it from what I'm saying, okay, from that point, your loved one is being gracious to this other loved one that really wants to connect with you, and tell you that they love you and have these messages for you. So as a psychic medium here, it's a little painful for me. I feel a little bad that happens, but what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? I also, try and, ask if that person that is speaking at the time to allow, the other loved one to come through that my client wants. I was able to do that actually one time before my client called. I didn't even get a chance to ask that person, hey, who do you want to speak with? So I connected, with someone, and I got a lot of information. So when my client called, I said, hey, I've got a person I've connected to. I was giving her information. She goes, oh, wow. She goes, I was hoping to connect with so-and-so. And it wasn't that person. And luckily, she got two, okay? Two. So she got all this wonderful, dialogue and everything with this person had come through. And she was able to connect with the person that she really, wanted to hear from. That doesn't happen all the time. So when you before you select a reading, okay, if the person has, say from my website, you have to go in there and you book, okay, from my website. And if you click on that psychic medium reading, it will bring up a full description, and you can read right there. I tell you in black and white, okay, what you can expect. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me. And so if you don't like that, then you don't choose the reading. You don't do it, okay? But there are no guarantees at all with any psychic medium, any at all. Our past ever loved ones, sometimes it's like a little bit of a puzzle. They'll give us names, or they'll give us sentences, or they'll say certain things, and we kind of have to figure it out when I'm talking to the client. Sometimes to validate who they are, they will actually say things from way back in a person's childhood, or they will talk about friends. They will talk about people who have already passed over, people who are alive. They will talk about pets. They will talk about, they'll give like names, they'll give dates, they'll give all different things like that. They'll give colors, favorite this and that, cars. They will even say, they make me particularly, they make me feel what was happening in their body, whatever illness they had or what they passed over from. And sometimes, just to validate, who they are, they will give me an illness or make me feel something of your neighbor. And you're like, yeah, but my loved one, they're already passed over. They didn't even know that. Well, when we pass over, we see everything. And that is such a validation and evidence that your loved one is right there, that they're seeing it. How do I know what your neighbor has? How do I know they've got, some anxiety or they've got some illness to them? But your loved one sure did. They didn't have to be alive on an earthly plane to even know that neighbor. So that just validates that you have been connected just for that one little thing alone, okay? That you have been connected with your loved one. But some people, they, even though I explain to them before the reading, before I even start their reading, I explain all these things, okay, about what to expect and keep an open mind. And they could be, your loved one could be talking about this one or that one, dead or alive, whatever. But they, some of the clients just seem to keep pulling it narrow back in. Oh, well, that didn't happen to me. Or that, again, it doesn't have to happen to you. Or, no, that person's alive. Okay, they're talking about that. Oh, that person's dead. They know that. They know that. That's what we're talking about here. You have to like keep a broad range. And sometimes, I get it. Sometimes you get a little nervous, when, a client's getting a reading and, they get a little anxiety themselves because they're excited to, connect with their loved one, and they can't remember certain things that are, that the loved one said. And at the end of my readings, I text them everything that I had written down prior to our call. So they have that. And anything from our call forward, I don't write down. They can write that down, or they could just remember it. So they can refer back to it. So it's always nice to have something where they can refer or bring to somebody and say, I didn't remember this, or who do you think this might be? And, they can ask other people, other family members or friends or whatever, or later on when they're all calmed down and they're not as excited and, about the reading and all, they look it over, and, sometimes a few days later or a week later or a month later, they go, oh my God, I know now. So, I just wanted to put this out there because, some clients can get disappointed if their particular loved one doesn't come through in the reading. You just have to know there's no guarantees. There is, from the psychics that have been around for like decades, okay, who have multiple books out, who have TV shows, who are all over the internet, okay, been reading for all this time, will tell you there's no guarantee. Okay, there's no guarantee to be able to bring through your loved one, or they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Okay, if you ask a certain question and they don't answer you, what are you going to do? Some clients also like to connect with their past over to give them answers or tell them how to live their lives or make decisions for them. Oh, should I buy that car? You know what I'm saying? Or, oh my God, this thing is coming up. What should I do? That is not the reason to connect with your past over loved one. Yeah, they can see certain things, they do, but that's not the reason you're connecting with them. Okay, that is not the reason. They do have insight in certain things, and they will say certain things, and they can warn you of a few things, okay? They can do that, but they are not going to give you a blow-by-blow of your life in what to do. You make your decisions in life, and they are there to help you through, okay? You have guides that will help you through, okay, your particular situations and try and steer you away. And your loved ones are there as well to do that, but they are not going to tell you how to live your life. So if you're going to look for a medium for something like that, to give you answers like that, don't bother doing that. I mean, you could try, but you may waste your money, okay? Or you may be disappointed is what might happen to you, okay? So I just want to do a little video here just to, let you know what to expect when you do sit down with a medium. Again, everyone reads differently. Their information comes through differently. I have read for the same client, a few of them, the same client more than once to connect with the same person, okay? And each time that I have connected my client with that same passed over loved one, the information was different. I don't remember anything. I don't, anything that I sent to my client is disposed of. I don't keep records of anything. I don't do anything like that. And I, even when I do tarot reading, I don't remember to tell clients. They go, hey, last time you said to me, blah, 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 and that's exactly what happened. And they did this and that. And they go, I don't remember, but I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I was able to help. It's the same thing with the mediumship reading. So if you say you go to the same medium again, and you want to connect with that same person and they give you exactly the same information, I would be a little skeptical about that. So and again, it's not as if you can't connect with the medium with that same passed over loved one in case you do have questions or you want to see, what's happening, or if they see what's happening in your life right now, or you feel like you've been thinking about them and you really need to hear from them. Nothing wrong with reconnecting with them at all. They're very happy to connect with. Believe me, usually when my client makes an appointment with me, their person, depending on how strong a personality, okay, their passed over loved one has, they want to they're like, I want to talk to my, my loved one here on the earthly plane. I want to already get started with that. So, if you have any questions, any further questions, if this, hope this helped to resolve maybe some questions that you may have, or just to give you a little insight before you make a decision about, booking an appointment with a psychic medium to talk to a passed over loved one. It's just a little info for you to make an educated decision what to do, or if you even want to connect with a passed over loved one. I hope this helps you. I enjoyed making this for you, and I hope it clears up some questions for some of you. I wish all of you a great day. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Bye-bye.